Canelo Crawford is one of the great boxing fights, right, that can be made in the modern day. And when you go and fight Jake Paul, it kind of like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And maybe someone's reacted to that news. I don't know. Or maybe it just fell through.
No.
But it sounds to me that the move to fight Jake Paul has just maybe derailed the other fight. But I don't blame Canelo Alvarez because financially, the bigger fight is Canelo-Jake Paul.
Oh my God. My biggest fear. What did I say last night? Canelo versus Jake Paul bet not have replaced the fight. And Eddie Hearn just said,
The move to fight Jake Paul has just maybe derailed the other fight.
bro. Okay, listen. Blame Jake Paul.
Blame Jake Paul.
Canelo Alvarez versus Jake Paul may have derailed the fight with him versus Crawford. And why would that happen all of a sudden? Well, I know this for His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh. He doesn't see fights like that as boxing matches. He sees them as events. He said it himself, and Ring Magazine put an X-post out on it where His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh pretty much said that the Mike Tyson fight versus Jake Paul, he doesn't see that fights like that as boxing matches, but just see them as like events, right? Just like special events. It seems like he has a more negative view on that, and he just doesn't call it boxing. And with his heavy negotiations and Crawford and Canelo agreeing, and he really trying to lock down Allegiant Stadium. Like he's trying to lock down Raider Stadium for the first boxing match there. And he see that Canelo is seriously negotiating with Jake Paul in May. I can see how that can take away some seriousness with what he would think would be seriousness between his negotiations with Crawford. And should I, make sure I reserve this event for September 13th or the 20th for Raider Stadium? And here's the thing, is Jake Paul versus Canelo or Canelo versus Jake Paul, is that like a done deal? And Eddie Hearn says it is.
Don't rule out Canelo Crawford, but as I'm hearing, Canelo-Jake Paul is done.
And when you look at Jake Paul and what he had to say with his ex-post, it looks like he's hyping up the fight. Look at the memes and everything. Even when he was on Impulsive, he was saying that this is going to be a crazy fight, his next fight, and it's bigger than Mike Tyson.
Yeah, when are you announcing your next the fight?
Like in roughly.
Oh my God.
Who's he
Oh
fighting?
my God.
It's the crazy. We can't say it. It's the
Okay.
craziest thing of all time. It's
Tell
the
me off
craziest
camera,
thing of all time.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Oh man. All right. Well,
Bigger than Tyson.
Do you have anything else?
Who else could it be? So all these sources and all of these hints pointing towards Jake Paul and Canelo Alvarez actually fighting and it being a done deal. Eddie Hearn was talking about how Canelo Alvarez versus Jake Paul is a bigger fight than Canelo versus Crawford.
But I don't blame Canelo Alvarez because financially, the bigger fight is Canelo-Jake Paul. Because in that fight, you've got two big stars. In the other fight, you've got two great fighters and one big star. And Terence Crawford, who should be a big star, but the reality is isn't. He's just an unbelievable fighter.
That's true. More people know Jake Paul than Terence Crawford. So instead of a megastar in Canelo Alvarez versus a great fighter in Crawford, a megastar in Canelo versus a megastar in Jake Paul would bring in more money. And Canelo Alvarez would then, could retire, or he could just take on whatever later on the year and make his quota up for, this being one of his biggest years in boxing history. I want to say, as far as my take, I cannot help as a boxing fan but to be disappointed. I'm disappointed, not hating on Canelo versus Jake Paul so much, because I feel like I know the outcome of that fight. We all know the outcome of that fight. But it's mostly because I don't want Canelo's year, 2025, to just be this special event. I do want to see him continuing on to be competitive and to be in competitive fights. As a boxing fan, I prefer Canelo Alvarez in competitive fights. And with us getting just that much closer to September, and you saw the dates, right? September 13th is gone. You know, there's an event already there for MGM. There's an event, there's a game on Allegiant Stadium. They already have September 13th sold up. So September 20th, I mean, the closer we get to that date, I'm pretty sure somebody's going to snag that as well. So I'm not sure if Canelo will have a Mexican Independence Day fight. I hope he does. And I don't want to just start giving up and sounding pessimistic and sounding negative, because I don't want to just pout over this Canelo-Jake Paul fight. But I do hate the fact that it seems as of right now that fight is why Crawford and Canelo Alvarez didn't materialize. And that sucks.
And that sucks.
All right, now we don't know that for sure, but this is what we're hearing now. Blame Jake Paul. So, I mean, am I going to watch Canelo versus Jake Paul? Of course. And if they put on a great undercard, I would probably raise my hand to work the fight, to bring some light to the undercard the way I did with Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. I would love to know what y'all think in the comments below. ShowBizz for adult. Bro, this is the one word I can say is embarrassing. I feel like this is an embarrassment. Unless he can somehow by December or by end of year hit us with a big fight like Canelo versus David Benavidez. But His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh is already kind of pitching David Benavidez versus the winner of Better Bia versus Bivol 2 for Undisputed. And who doesn't want to see that? And maybe Canelo wants to fight who comes out of that quasi tournament. Shit. I'm out. Huh.